My adoptive parents demanded that I be a surrogate for their biological daughter. My name is Maya. I'm 19 now, and I need to tell a story that still keeps me awake some nights. It's about the family I thought had welcomed me, but who actually had very different plans for me. Plans I only discovered on what should have been the happiest day of my life. I'll start with my high school graduation day. It was a hot Thursday in May 2024, and I was radiant. After 3 years living with the Richard and Linda, I finally felt like I belonged somewhere. They took me out of the foster system when I was 16, and even though our relationship was a bit distant, I was grateful, very grateful. The ceremony was perfect. When they called my name, Maya Elizabeth Richards, I walked to the stage with a smile I couldn't control. In the stands, I saw Richard taking photos. Linda waved discreetly. Even Sarah, their 26-year-old biological daughter, was there. She rarely appeared at family events, always claiming to be busy with work or other commitments. We returned home around 3 in the afternoon. The Richards' house was one of those typical upper-middle-class homes. 2 stories, impeccable garden, American kitchen with granite countertops. I always felt a bit out of place there, like I was a visitor who had overstayed. But that day, they had decorated the living room with gold balloons and a banner reading, "Congratulations, Maya." Even a chocolate cake was waiting on the table. "Sit here, dear," said Linda, indicating the main armchair in the room. Her voice had a different tone, more ceremonious. "We have a surprise for you." I sat down, still wearing the blue dress I had bought especially for graduation. Richard disappeared into the kitchen and returned with a brown folder, the kind lawyers use. My heart accelerated a little. Maybe they were official adoption papers? I had always wanted to officially be a Richards. "Maya," Richard began, clearing his throat. "You know we love you, and that these 3 years have been wonderful." He opened the folder and took out some documents. "But now that you're an adult, we need to talk about the next step." Sarah approached the coffee table and sat on the edge of the sofa, closer to me than she normally stayed. Her eyes were shining in a strange way, almost feverish. "What do you mean?" I asked, taking the first papers Richard extended to me. They were medical test results. My medical test results. Blood work, hormones, pelvic ultrasound, complete gynecological exam, all dated from the last 2 years. I frowned, confused. "I don't understand. Why do you have all these tests?" "Because we needed to make sure you were healthy," said Linda, sitting beside me. "Healthy and fertile." The word fertile echoed in the room like a gunshot. I looked at her, then at Richard, then at Sarah. They were all watching me with expectation, as if they were waiting for a specific reaction. Fertile for what? My voice came out higher than normal. Sarah leaned forward. "Maya, I can't have children. I found out 5 years ago, after 2 years of trying to get pregnant. I did all the possible treatments. The doctors said it's impossible." Her hands trembled slightly. "But I always wanted to be a mother. Always. I'm sorry, Sarah. I didn't know. And that's why you're here," said Richard, his voice taking on a firmer tone. "Not just to be our adopted daughter, to be the solution to Sarah's problem." I blinked several times, trying to process what I was hearing. "What solution?" Linda took my hand. "Dear, you're going to be a surrogate for Sarah. You're going to carry her baby." The world stopped. Literally stopped. I could hear the tick-tock of the wall clock, the low hum of the refrigerator, the distant sound of a lawnmower, but I couldn't process what I had just heard. You're joking, right?" I managed to say. "Of course not," said Richard. "Why would we be joking about something so important?" I got up abruptly, the papers falling to the floor. "You're crazy." "I won't. I can't. How can you even think of this?" Sarah also stood up, her eyes filling with tears. "Maya, please. You don't understand. I need this. I need to be a mother. And you're perfect. Young, healthy. No family history of diseases we can trace. No history of diseases because I don't know my family," I shouted. "You know that?" Linda approached with outstretched hands, as if dealing with a frightened animal. "Maya, calm down. Sit down. Let's talk calmly. There's nothing to talk about. This is insane."